She was standing on the porch in the sunshine. Heath was glaring at her. Katie could feel the heat of his rage all the way from where he stood in the yard.
Just what was going on tonight?
You better explain what you mean.
It's simple. Where'd you go tonight? With whom? And what did you do?
It's none of your business.
I asked you something, and I expect you to give me an answer. Now!
I went out with a friend.
Friend? I don't know much about your friends, do I? I'll have to start learning. Let's start with the friend you met tonight. Tell me about him, Katie. You wonder how I know it wasn't a girlfriend, don't you? I could feel the atmosphere in that car. Things were getting really hotted up in there, weren't they? You forgot all about me. I thought I could count on you, Katie. I guess I shouldn't expect a girl like you to care about someone like me.
Katie looked at Heath sitting slumped on the porch steps. Suddenly it struck her that Heath played 3 characters: Mr. Wonderful, Mr. McNasty, and the poor little boy.
Why has it taken me so long to see through his routine? First I get bullied by Mr. McNasty, then I'm supposed to feel sorry for the poor little boy and let him have his own way. And if I'm lucky, then Mr. Wonderful will come out and play. I can't believe I ever fell for it. Well, the hypnotic spell is definitely broken. Heath just doesn't know it yet.
Heath was still pouting. Every so often he would glance at her out of the corner of his eye to see if she was making a move.
Careful, Katie. He's a mean one. It looks like you're trapped here with him. Come on, Heath. Let's just go for a walk. That threw you, huh? You were expecting to be fussed over quite a bit more, weren't you?
They walked toward the road that ran alongside Katie's house. Heath picked some white clover and handed it to Katie.
Here, Katie. These are for you.
Well, I guess Mr. Wonderful decided to make an appearance. Come on, Heath. Let's cross over to the other side of the road. I've never explored those woods over there.
Nah, it's nicer over here. I've seen what's there already.
Well, then you can show me.
Stop it, Katie. I told you I don't want to go.
Uh-oh. Pretty soon, Mr. McNasty's going to be back. Don't be a party pooper, Heath. I want to find out what these woods are like. If I'm in a dream world, I want to explore it.
Katie, you're not to go over there.
So now Mr. McNasty's back. Surely he'll follow me. Oh, why is he being such a stick in the mud?
But when Katie got to the other side of the road and turned around, Heath wasn't following her at all. The dream had suddenly vanished, leaving only darkness.
Oh, no! I've overslept again. I'll be late today for sure.
As Katie clattered downstairs, she could see her father's tight-lipped expression. She tried to make herself as small as possible as she slid into her seat at the breakfast table.
Katie, I know you had trouble sleeping in the past, but now you're sleeping way too much. You're ignoring your alarm in the morning. Can't you find a happy medium?
Well, I don't think I'm sleeping too much.
Oh? Well, think again. And all day yesterday, you acted like you were in another world.
Do you want to see a doctor? Maybe, but not the kind of doctor you have in mind, Mom. It's just that I've been staying up late studying. This is a new school, and I want to make sure I adjust to their teaching methods. I gotta go.
Katie grabbed her books and ran outside before her parents could ask her any more questions. Standing at the bus stop, she felt so tired that she started to drift off to sleep, but the arrival of the school bus jolted her awake. At school, Katie's mood brightened when Jason fell into step with her in the hall.
And how about that old car Saturday night, huh? That old bomb. It's never had so much energy.
No more trouble on the way home?
Not a bit, but I'm going to check it out. Look, I've got to go to class early. Maybe we can get together later?
Oh, I don't know if that's really a good idea. I mean, there's homework and everything. And of course, that special guy waiting for me in my dreams. My own worst nightmare.
Come on, Katie. From what I know about you, I'd have guessed you'd have done all your homework from now to the end of the month. Are you sure you're not playing hard to get? It won't do you any good because I'm going to be very persistent.
Okay, I get the point. You know I'd like to see you later.
Great. I'll meet you here then.
Okay.
Miss Shaw,
Yes, Mr. Preston?
I'd like to have a word with you about the quality of your work lately. It just hasn't been up to par. Carelessness is very unusual for you, and I'm really rather surprised. I hope you have an explanation.
Katie was crushed. She had never heard anything like this from a teacher before. All she could do was shake her head and promise to be careful. She had an explanation, all right. She just couldn't tell him what it was. Katie didn't study that night. She went out with Jason instead. They went to Fuzzy's, the local hangout. It was really great to walk in as a couple, to be somebody, to be popular. Now Katie didn't have to work at being the center of attention. It just happened. When Katie got into bed that night, she took out her diary. Propping herself against the pillows, she began to write.
Dear Diary, I know I haven't written in a while, but so much has happened so fast. I'm hardly like the old Katie at all. Sometimes I'm not even sure who I am. Did all this happen because of Heath Granger? Did Heath give me the nerve to change? Is he even real?
Katie stared out at the moon and started to think about Jason and his love letter poem to her.
That's it! Love letter. I'll get Heath to write me a love letter, and when I wake up, I'll have it to prove he's real, and I didn't just imagine him. Not that I really want a love letter from Heath, not anymore. Besides, if he knows I went out with Jason tonight, he wouldn't want to write me a love letter anyway. Who knows what he'd do?
The thought made Katie twist the sheet in her hands. She wished she could predict what Heath would find out. There seemed to be no pattern to it. Sometimes he knew everything that happened in her life. Other times she was surprised at what he didn't catch. Of course, it might be possible that Heath wasn't telling her everything he knew. Katie fell asleep, and it was only a few minutes before she saw Heath, leaning as usual against the tree at the front of the house.
Oh, Katie. You know, I wish you'd stay here all the time with me. Isn't it beautiful? Well, it's always sunny and warm, and you'd be my girl, always. Imagine. No more homework, no more scolding teachers. What could be so bad about living forever in a beautiful dream?
No way. Hey, how does he know about Mr. Preston? Heath, how did you know about my teacher telling me off?
Well, you were thinking about him before you went to sleep, weren't you? Well, I just pick things up sometimes. Never can tell what.
Does he know I think about Jason, too? He's doing this on purpose to keep me guessing, to confuse me. Can you tell there's something I've been wanting you to do?
Huh? What?
Well, I've been hoping you'd write me a love letter. I've never had one. Good. He wasn't expecting that. Look, I even brought you a pen and some paper.
Well, okay. Women. It's not going to be long. I'm no poet.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sure if you care for me the way you say you do, you'll find the perfect words.
As Heath trudged away, he remembered to turn around and flash Katie a dazzling smile.
Okay. Here you are.
I love you, Katie Blue. I guess English wasn't your favorite subject, Heath. Well, at least it's something.
Well, it's about your blue eyes.
Oh, thank you.
Now, give it back.
Oh, you don't give back love letters, Heath.
Give it back.
Oh, please.
Katie knew she wasn't going to be able to reason him out of it. She clutched the note in her hand and concentrated as hard as she could.
Wake up! I've got to wake up! Come on, Katie, open your eyes. Come on! It worked. I'm awake, and I've still got his letter in my hand. Ooh, what's that smell?
A sharp burning heat filled her lungs. A thick curtain of smoke hung in the air. Sparks and little flames were coming from the lamp cord. Then the lace doily under the lamp started to burn. Katie stood transfixed. She didn't realize that she dropped the precious note from Heath until the flames started licking at its edges. Before she could even think of saving it, it was reduced to ashes. Grabbing a pillow from the bed, she started to beat out the blaze. She knocked over the lamp, pulling the plug from the wall. Sparks shot out of the socket, leaving black, sooty stains. Then it was over. Throwing down the charred pillow, Katie opened a window and took in great gulps of air.
That was awful. The wiring in this old house is really dangerous. Oh, Heath's letter is ruined. It's just a pile of ashes. Oh, it was all for nothing. I've lost the proof that he's real.
She slumped into a chair in the corner of her room and stared blankly out of the window. Suddenly, the movement of what seemed like a shadow made her turn around. It wasn't a shadow. Heath was in her room, sitting in the chair at her dressing table, staring at her with the most awful look in his eyes.
No!
You tricked me into writing that letter so you could bring it back here, didn't you?
Yes.
I don't want you playing any tricks on me, trying to take things out of the dream ever again. Ever. Ever. Do you understand? So, these ashes are all that's left?
Katie nodded in silence and looked away. Her gaze fell on the chair where she'd been sitting. What she saw made her insides lurch. She was looking down at her own sleeping body. It was like those scenes in a movie where the soul looks down on the dead body that housed it.
But this isn't a movie. I'm looking at myself. I'm not dead. This is only a dream.
Squeamish, are we? Well, that's too bad. Well, I guess I'm finished here for now. Remember, Katie, everything from the dream stays in the dream. Oh, by the way, do you have a diary?
Yes. Why?
Where is it?
Why?
Where is it?
It's in the drawer! In the table by the bed! Oh, no! No!
Don't write about me. Don't write about me and don't talk about me.
When Katie awoke, she stared at the black stains on the wall, the charred lamp cord, and the cloud of ash around the lamp. She hugged her knees and trembled as everything came back to her. Her diary was lying on the floor in the corner of the room. She got out of bed and picked it up. With shaking hands, she unlocked the diary and thumbed through it. At first, everything seemed to be just as she'd left it, but when she got to the place where she'd started writing about Heath, it was unreadable. The pages were covered all over with the wild, crazy scribbles of an unseen hand.